am walking down to the end of the road where I know that there are a ton of dandelions. They are popping up all over the place. I've been making tea, pretty much just tea so far because there's not enough to do anything else. Well, now there is. So I'm gonna go down there. I got my basket. Go down there and pick about 2 cupfuls because I'm gonna make some dandelion honey, which is kind of like dandelion jelly. I'm pretty stoked because I've never made it before. And last year someone let me taste theirs and I was just blown away. I had no idea that you can make jelly or honey out of dandelions. So yeah, I have all the ingredients that I need and I'm gonna go down there walking with Kai. Gonna get some dandelions and maybe some other things that I find along the way. So let's go get some dandelions. Stepped in a mud puddle. So many. So out on the nature walk, I got some dandelion greens, which will go perfect in a salad. You can't eat it by itself because it's really bitter, but it's really good for the liver. I was only able to get 2 dandelion roots because these are really hard to pull out of the ground. I didn't have the proper tool to do it, but I was able to get 2. I got so many dandelions, and I feel like I didn't even get that many, but after I pulled it out of my basket, I was like, holy moly, because I got this. And then these are the ones that I've already deflowered for my dandelion honey or dandelion jam, whatever you want to call it. But it's so soft. I wish you guys can feel this. It's like really soft. And it's so pretty. It's so yellow. So yeah, so I'm going to move on to the next step. Cook this up and to make some honey. This time last year, Jake and I were building the platform for the yurt. So we were living out of the van and also staying at a friend's cabin that's down the way. Since we were building our home and going back and forth between the van and the cabin, I never really got to observe spring and the seasons changing from winter to spring. And this year I have been able to like really observe what comes alive and what plants come out first and what birds you hear first and the slugs coming out. And it's so crazy to me how everything is just so dead during the winter time, and it's so cold and it's dark and it's kind of depressing and it's miserable, and it has its, moments, of course. And then going into spring, it just seems like it happens so fast, and the days are longer now, and it's not as dark and it's not as gloomy, and you can see the stars and the sun is out and it hasn't rained in weeks, and the life around you is just coming to life. And I am just so grateful that I'm able to observe that, because in the city, you're constantly moving, you're constantly going, and I feel like you don't really stop to see what changes around you. This year, going from winter to spring has just been transformational, I guess, for me, if that makes sense. Just noticing everything is just, I don't know, it just makes me feel so wonderful. And being able to witness and experience winter turning into spring on a more deeper level has been amazing. I don't know, it's just really making me in tune to nature, and I'm just loving every moment of it. And last year, we were so busy building a home that Jake and I both didn't really get to see around us as much as we'd like to. So this year has just been amazing. It's been so great so far. The spring has been wonderful. Just to see things that come up first, like the dandelions are popping up everywhere. It is crazy. And now that I actually have like a kitchen and a place to prep things, I can actually pick them. And now I'm making like so many things with dandelions that I never thought that I would ever make, or that was even possible. Like, I had no idea. So I'm really excited to explore this whole world with dandelions. And then I know the dandelions will fade out and then something else will come, because that's how the seasons work. And so with the dandelions, I'm making jam, honey, I'm gonna make some wine. I'm using the dandelion roots for my hair. What else? Tea, of course, sun tea, just there's so much. And I wish that you guys can feel these feelers. So last night, Jake and I think finished watching a show and we were about ready to go to bed, and it was silent. And living in a yurt, you hear everything. Like, you can hear the flies buzzing outside. If you're sitting on the couch up against the yurt wall, you can hear the flies. It's crazy. Jake's like, are there bugs in here? And I'm like, no, you can hear that outside. So last night when we were getting ready to go to bed, we just sat there and we heard the frogs, we heard the crickets, we heard birds, we heard the flies, we heard the bugs, we heard a slight breeze of wind, and we just like looked at each other and just like really took it in. It was so beautiful. I was like, oh my gosh, like, do you hear all of this that's going on right now? And it was still kind of a little light out. I think it was like 8:30, and I'm like, it's 8:30 and it's still kind of light out. I'm just so happy. I wish that I knew how to put it in words better. But I'm just really happy for the spring and for the sun. So I just wanted to jump on here and talk to you guys and tell you just the things that I've been noticing off the grid my first year, going into my second year, and actually living in a home to where I can actually take notice a little bit better. This is the garden that Jake and I are putting together. We're just waiting on the soil. We have been working our butts off. Those are all of our fruit trees right there. We're gonna plant most of them here coming up.